Hi, so today is the 21st day and welcome to the last day of our 21-day self-esteem series that we're doing. And today's topic is definitely the heart of our series, which is unhealthy self-esteem, or I like to call it low self-esteem today, right? So because we are going to go into depth just in this topic today, so we'll call it by low self-esteem because these both are same thing. When I call it unhealthy self-esteem or low self-esteem, they can be used interchangeably. So definitely this topic is the heart and soul of my work, or the thing that I help you people with. So we are going to explore this today in depth, and keep watching this because it is going to help you understand yourself at depth. Because low self-esteem is nothing but low self-esteem is like something that is attached to your personality, that is attached to how you think and feel. So it's like basically you. So when you understand your low self-esteem in depth, you also understand yourself better. So let's start. So first, let's understand what does having low self-esteem means. See, low self-esteem is when you have a negative perception of your own self, which basically means that when the way you see yourself, when the way you think and feel about yourself is distorted, it is not good, it is kind of negative. That is when you know that you have a low self-esteem. And I wanted to notice that this thing, self-esteem, the way it makes you feel, or the way it makes you experience or feel within you, it is in reality with respect to your own self. Because your low self-esteem is when you think and feel about your own self, but who is thinking and feeling? You, right? So it's with respect to your own self. But oftentimes your low self-esteem will make you feel like it's the other people who do not respect me, it's the other people who think low of me, or it's the other people who make me who make me feel like I'm not good enough, I'm not important. But in reality, it is your own belief that you're not good enough, which is at the root cause of a low self-esteem. So your low self-esteem has got nothing to do with other people, even though that is how you may be believing. Because, and you know what makes you look at other people like that, that these people do not respect me, that these people think of me as low? Because when you are going to them, or when you're interacting with those people, you already have a very strong belief of I am not good enough, of I don't have any good quality. So when you are going to them, when you're interacting with these people, you're already going to them with some limiting self beliefs about your own self. And your beliefs about your own self are something called as self fulfilling prophecy exists. And what does it make you do? It makes you look for evidence in your environment, in other people, to reconfirm your already limiting beliefs that you have about your own self. So basically, when you already have certain limiting beliefs about yourself, that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough, or I'm not capable enough, lovable enough, when you're going out and interacting with people, your mind will be active. It would always be searching for some evidence. And suppose somebody just gives you a feedback, and but you would take it as an insult. You would overthink and end up concluding that this person was insulting me, or that their feedback was actually intended to hurt me, to make me feel that I'm not good enough. But it is actually coming from your own self-limiting belief that is already within you. So your low self-esteem is with respect to your own thoughts, with respect to your own feelings and thoughts about your own self. So it has got nothing to do with others, and that's a good thing. Because then it also means that when it comes to working on your low self-esteem, you can very well work on it on your own self. You do not need 10 other people to say that you're good enough. You do not need 10 other people to come and say sorry and say that you know what, you were always good enough, or a lot of things. So you do not have to depend on anybody else. Next is, so if you have had a low self-esteem for a long period of time, over a long period of time, to this day you would feel helpless. It ends up making you feel helpless. Because when you have a low self-esteem, basically you start to look at yourself in such a way that you do not concede, you do not look at yourself in an empowering way. So you cannot depend on yourself, you cannot trust yourself. So you start to feel helpless, ki nothing can happen, nothing can happen, nothing, you're not with you, your outlook towards life changes. And that is why it's a very very big thing, low self-esteem. And that is why I stress so much upon working upon your self-esteem. So your low self-esteem makes you feel helpless, and it makes it gives you an inherent feeling, an inherent belief that I'm good for nothing. All right. So basically, when you have a low self-esteem, it makes your self-worth go down to zero. So basically, in your own, in your sense, in your world, your self-worth is zero. So you are good for nothing. That is how you start to see yourself. That is how you start to feel yourself. And uh, it is a very sad thing, I must say, that when you start to see your self-worth as zero, it is a very sad thing, because first is it is not true, and nobody who is alive, nobody who's living deserves to feel like this, because the fact that you're here, the fact that you're alive, it means that you have a purpose, and you very much deserve to live that, and you very much deserve to experience this life with a positive energy, with life full of energy. But instead, when you have a low self-esteem, what happens is your life energy gets affected. And it also affects your willingness to live, your willingness to uh, it just affects your life energy. So your willingness to live also, or your willingness to look at life positively, it gets impacted. It's not there anymore. And that is why I feel that having a low self-esteem is no less than a tragedy, and it is a very sad thing, because it basically takes away the value from yourself. It takes away value from your being. It makes you feel like I'm good for nothing. So I also don't like, there is no point of being, there's no point of being. And it's a sad state, because first, it's not true. All right, everybody that's here, we are here for a reason, we have a purpose, and we are if you're alive, then you very much deserve to live. And that is why you must work on this negative thoughts that's literally gripping you so tightly that it's not even letting you enjoy what you already have, life. And honestly, you don't need to prove your worth to anybody, but because your low self-esteem has made you feel like your self-worth is zero, at least you need to prove to yourself that, you know what, I am worth living, or I am worthy just in who I am. I don't have to do something, or I don't have to have certain qualities in myself to feel like I'm worthy enough. And hence this work is so much important for you to do. Okay. Yes, your low self-esteem affects your life in every sense. It hampers your, it just it's it distorts your lens to the world, to the light, to your life. So the way you see life, the way you approach life changes. Okay. and and the worst thing is that when you have low self-esteem, it's like you're struggling with your own self. So the fight is not with the other world. So your problem is not with respect to the external world or the other people, really, but your fight is with your own self, against your own self. So you're just fighting with yourself. So every time there's this negative self-talk that's happening, which is making you feel like, okay, I'm not good enough, I did this mistake, I'm good for nothing, I'm stupid, या फिर वगैरह वगैरह, and it's definitely affecting you, because it so happiness becomes a faraway thing when you have a low self-esteem. You rarely feel happy in your body, because for happiness, for you to feel happiness, the first thing that needs to happen is that you need to feel comfortable, you need to feel good enough in who you are. Only then you can experience happiness also. Now this was low self-esteem in depth. Now let's understand, why do you have a low self-esteem, or why does one develop a low self-esteem? So first thing is, you need to understand that low self-esteem is not something that you are born with, although that is how we start to believe, because our low self-esteem makes us feel like we are good for nothing. And definitely when we that and once we start to get or receive feel negative thoughts, it's like we build momentum, and then we keep getting deep into it. So it takes effort to get out of it, to realize that I am not wrong. The way I think wrong, the way I've started to believe is wrong. I am not wrong. The defect is not me. The defect is in the thoughts that I'm believing, the beliefs that I've been holding on to. So you really need to get this in your mind, that the fault is not in you. The fault or flawed are your thoughts, negative beliefs. So first is to understand that low self-esteem is not something that you were born with. All right, so you were not born with zero self-worth. And I have a very good analogy, like good example, or a good fact to consider. Just like everybody has liver, eyes, nose, a heart, right, and kidneys and all other body parts, self-worth is just like that. Everybody has self-worth. We were born with self-worth. We were born with innate value in us. So what happens is, the thing that you feel like that you have zero self-worth, it is something that has happened, that you have developed, that you have started to believe. So keep this in mind. All right, just like everybody has heart and all the organs in the body, self-worth is also something that we all of us have. It's just that we've started to believe. It's like believing, like you were born with a liver, but over time, while after you've grown up into an adult, you started to believe that I don't have a liver. So it's like that. But once somebody makes you believe that you know you do have a liver, and they give you the proof of it, you will start to feel, okay, I do have it. So that is what needs to happen, and it can very well happen for you to get out of the trap of your low self-esteem. So let's understand in detail, why do you have a low self-esteem? Low self-esteem means that you have a lot of negative beliefs about your own self, with right in your mind, in your body, and in your mind. Now, where does these negative beliefs come from? You pick up and absorb these negative beliefs from your environment and surrounding while you are growing up. So keep this in mind that um, when we are children, right, when we are children, we are open to feedbacks, because that is when we are forming our identity. So it is the stage where we want to learn about ourselves, where we want to know that, okay, tell me, who am I, how good am I, what is my value. As children, we do not have this, thinking brain, cognitive brain. We're just developing it. So we want to, and that is when we form our identity. So we are open to feedback, we want to learn. And so what happens is, so whatever is happening in our in an external world, the people who we lived, like most of our time, spent most of our time, maybe our teachers, our peers, our fellow mates, our parents, all of they play a major role in the identity that we have formed. The experiences and events you experienced as a child, how you were talked to, how people behaved with you, how they made you feel, how they treated you, all of this led you to create beliefs about your own self. So it was like you were receiving you were receiving messages from your surrounding, and based on the basis of that, how you were treated, how you felt that people were treating you, you formed your own beliefs. So the fact that you today you have a lot of negative beliefs about your own self, it is not about you, but it is about how people around you behaved with you, how they treated you, how they made you feel. I hope this makes it clear that the belief that you have adopted, it's like more of an illusion. That the child, you believe that it is about me, where in reality, now an adult, you can understand that more than you, it was about other people. Because when other people criticize you, when other people punish you, when other people fail to make you feel loved, it is because they did not have the capacity to make you feel loved or accepted. It was coming from their own anger, from their own world, from their own pain. The child you did not understand, because they were like, no, these people are going to tell me who I am. So you were just open to feedback. Okay, tell me. I'm open to receiving messages, and all you received were negative messages, because you felt that, I'm not getting attention. This person is not paying attention to me, or I'm getting rejected. So it means that I'm not good enough. So you made it about yourself. So that is how you end up with a lot of negative beliefs about yourself. And I must let you know that you end up, developing a low self-esteem when such things happen, or when you are made to believe that you're not loved, or you're not capable enough, or you're not worthy enough over a long period of life. So over a considerable long period of time. So not just one or two event, because if it's just about one or two event, it will have lesser impact. But in most cases, it happens when when something like this happens over a long period of time, and that too without any intervention. So it's like that is how your world is. So growing up, this is what you've known about the world. That okay, this is how you are treated. This is how you live. This is how people behave with you. And so you grow up into an adult who believes like they are not good enough. And when you grow up like that, when you grow up like this, the way you think, it's the way you think becomes negative. You start to think negatively of you. And always remember that we always develop momentum into the direction we are going. So if there's one negative thought that you have about yourself, the chances are that you're going to go with even more speed in the same direction. It would get harder to come out of that negativity loop, or that negative, pile of that negative pile of thoughts, to change the direction. So it's like a momentum. So as a result of this, like when you grow up into such an adult with a low self-esteem, what happens is, first, your self-talk becomes critical. So it's like, anything is happening, you are making a mistake, you are quick to punish yourself. There comes a very harsh and critical voice from inside. Look, you're so dumb, you always make mistake, good for nothing, they were right, I shouldn't have done this. See, I made fun of myself, everybody's laughing at me now. What is this? You're being critical to your own self. And how do you develop a critical voice? Because you grew up listening to or being behaved same way when you made a mistake, maybe. So you learned. So your low self-esteem is also something that you learned. It's not something that you're born with, remember. Second thing that happens is you start to judge yourself. So there's no understanding for your own self, you start to judge yourself. Same, right? You are very quick to judge yourself. Third is you expect perfection from your own self. So no matter what you do, there's always this expectation that I should do it perfectly, that this is what I need to create, this is how my result should look like. High expectations from your own self, and the expectations are so high that whenever you do anything less than that, you're not enough. You again, that critical voice shows up, you again judge yourself and criticize yourself. Fourth is you take failures and making mistakes personally. When you develop, when you grow up into an adult who has a low self-esteem, making mistake becomes a very big thing. You try because you associate it with your self-worth. So you see, your self-worth is already in a, like your self-worth is already hitting zero. So it's like a feeling of I'm not good enough, but you in your mind you have made a connection that okay, every time I'll make a mistake, it again reinforces that feeling in me, it again makes me feel, it again reminds me that my self-worth is zero. So you would try to avoid every opportunity where you can make mistake or where you can fail, which basically means that you start to avoid opportunities, you start to hold yourself back a lot. Next is basically when you have a low self-esteem, you become very harsh, and you become very harsh on your own self, which is basically you start to have an you develop an unhealthy relationship with your own self. Okay. And if you've seen my videos or if you read my content, you would see that I often talk about having a healthy or unhealthy relationship with self-esteem, interchangeably, because when you have a low self-esteem, you develop or you end up with an adult who has an unhealthy relationship with their own selves. And so when it comes to the solution part, let's come to the solution part. Our end goal, our main goal is to develop a healthy relationship with ourselves. Because right now, when we have an unhealthy relationship with ourselves, it's affecting the quality of our life. It's affecting how I feel on daily basis. It's affecting uh, how much comfortable or what I feel in my own body. So right now, when I have an unhealthy relationship with myself, I'm feeling utter uncomfort in being myself. I don't want to be myself. I'm not able to be my authentic self in front of others. There is a strong desire to be like somebody else or to become perfect. But we don't want to stay here because it is not helping anybody, right? Not liking the home you are in, not liking the body you are in, the inacceptance that is there. It is not helping anybody. So our main goal is of developing our end goal of developing a healthy self-esteem is to develop a healthy relationship with our own selves. And so now, so that you can feel peace and comfortable in yourself, so that the fight that is happening, the battle that you fight with your own self can stop. Okay. Now, so you can finally feel good enough in yourself. So let's understand how do you do this, how do we develop a healthy relationship with ourselves. So today we'll only discuss the first major step towards developing a healthy relationship with yourself, which is to reach there. First thing you need to do is you need to let go of the negative beliefs you have about yourself. Now when I say letting go, definitely it's not a very tangible thing जो समझ आ जाती है कि okay, how do you let go of things. But at the same time, you must know that as long as you have these negative beliefs about your own self, bringing in or trying to force some positive beliefs about yourself through affirmations or through positive, forcing yourself to believe into something positive about your own self is not going to work for long enough. Why? Because understand that self-hatred, which is right now what you have, like dislike for your own self, not feeling comfortable in your body, in acceptance of your own self, and self-love, which is accepting yourself as you are, having compassion and kindness for your own self, understanding yourself, both these things cannot coexist. So right now what is there, we already have negative beliefs about our own selves. So for positive beliefs to come in, for us to really form some very compassionate beliefs, for us to understand ourselves, for us to accept ourselves, for these things to come, we need to let this go so that we can make space for this. Only then it can come. And we need to understand this. And that is why affirmations or just doing over the surface work does not work a lot of times. So now let's focus on how can I let go of this? How can I let go of self-criticism, self-hatred, judgments, on all of these, all right, which is this. Now, uh, first thing I want you to do is, definitely there are a lot of ways of how you let go of things, but the thing that I'm going to tell you is something that I believe will help, or something that I believe can help you. So first thing I want you to do is make a list of things you don't like about yourself. You need to make a list, because as long as you keep let them stay in your mind, it will be like a very vague thing. Vague, like it's going to be vague. You're just going to feel that there's nothing good in me. That's a very vague thing to say. Make a list of it. You will reach an end. How many pointers can you make? Like 10, 12, or 20 or 25 at the most. Keep on going as much as you can. Write, okay, this is something that I don't like about myself. Okay, this is a negative point about me. This is my weakness. Write down all your weaknesses. Okay, and this will help you gain awareness also, and this is important because you need to let go of all, you need to bring all those negative beliefs out from your mind and bring it on paper. Next is, now that I've made the list, and give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. Don't have to just do it urgently, like within a time frame. Give yourself some time. Think over it. Let all the negativity come out for once, because letting it stay in your body, letting it play games in your mind, um, it's not actually helping you. So bring it out on paper. Next, I want you to ask yourself, now that you have the list in front of you, I want you to ask yourself, when was the first time I felt I'm not good enough, or that there's something wrong with me? Because all the things that you've written down, ultimately how it makes you feel is that I'm not good enough, you to be able to say nahi hai, and that there's something wrong with me. So I want you to recall, or just let yourself flow, that okay, what do I believe? So when was the first time I felt this way? When was the first time that I had this feeling that there's something wrong with me, or I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, या फिर मुझे ये होना चाहिए था but I'm not that person? Ask yourself and let yourself flow. See what comes up. It can be anything, whatever you can remember. Next thing I want you to ask yourself is, who or what made me feel like that? Like, what was happening exactly? What made me feel that way? What happened exactly? This is important because this will help you understand that there was an event, or it was an experience that made you feel like you were not enough, or which started feeding you negative beliefs about your own self, or which started making you feel like you're inferior, like there's something wrong with you. It will help you understand that you are not always that way. So it will like it will like bring it will like give you a proof that you are not always this way. So something happened that led you to feel this way, or there was a person who who projected their own pain and insecurities upon your own self, upon you consistently enough for you to take it and internalize, and start to believe that I am not good enough. So I want you to see it with your own eyes, because see, when it comes to uh, healing low self-esteem, or forming a healthy self-esteem, me saying that you're worthy enough, me saying that you are good enough, don't believe that there's anything wrong with you, is not going to help you for long enough. Ultimately, it is you who will have to believe that I am good enough, there's nothing wrong with me, there's no ideal self that I need to be good enough or to be acceptable. In whatever I am, I was always good enough, and even today I am good enough. It needs to come from you. Motivation is not going to work for you here. So I'm not going to give you those statements that you are good enough, you are good enough. And that is why I give you this exercise, so that you can reflect, and reflection needs to happen. If you want to do deep inner work, you need to reflect. You need to sit, give yourself your time, and reflect on your thoughts, because it's all the game of your thoughts and feelings, how it makes you feel. Because right now also, the problem of flaw is not in you, it's in what you think, how you believe, in your beliefs, right? So what needs to change is, where did your thoughts come from, or where did the beliefs come from? And that is what these exercises are going to help you with. So I'll repeat the 3 pointers. Make a list of the things you do not like about yourself. Anything that is in your mind, let it all come out. Make a pointers, right? Like, write it in points. That, okay, I can't speak well. I have a weak personality. I fumble when I speak. I don't walk very nice. I don't look very good. Make as long, like, go as long as you can. Second, it's like you will be challenging yourself there. Second is, ask yourself, when was the first time I felt I'm not good enough, or that there's something wrong with me? Third, ask yourself, who or what made me feel like that? And the aim is to make you believe that something happened that led you to consider yourself unworthy, and you were not always like that, that it was not your all, that it was not your eternal truth, that you were not born with zero self-worth. Okay, so this is the foremost and the very important step when it comes to developing a healthy relationship with yourself. Without this, nothing other, whatever next steps were, it's not going to work. So do this, start with this. This is the very important step, and it will take time. It's all right. You deserve your time, all right? And it's mainly it's reflection time that it requires, because for a new belief to settle in also, for this, just this understanding that I was not born with zero self-worth. For this even to sit down, it would need your reflection. The more you reflect on it, the sooner this insight will sit in you, sit in your body. So this was the first step towards developing a healthy relationship. There are other steps also, and actually I have made a separate video on just on this topic. So if you want to know the complete video on how you build a healthy relationship with yourself, you can watch that video. And we will keep it till today here. And yes, today was the last day of our 21-day self-esteem series, and I'm very happy with how we did this, and all the topics that I've covered. They're all very interesting and very much helpful. And so yes, I am going to continue with making videos, because I have started enjoying it, and I've realized that I flow better when I'm making videos, and I definitely come up with a lot of new things while I'm explaining it to you in the video. So yes, I am going to continue making videos, and if you want, if and just to overall, so I am somebody who helps people with connect with themselves, with reclaim their power, feel good in themselves, feel comfortable and confident in their own body. So I help people go to that space, develop a healthy relationship with their own selves, or develop a healthy self-esteem. And if you want that, definitely join my WhatsApp community. It's a free WhatsApp community, self-love space. I will give you the link in the description of this video, and I'll see you there. Bye bye.